Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be making some cards with our Homespun Christmas card kit. Now the Homespun Christmas card kit is an individual purchase card kit, meaning it's not part of our Crafty Courtyard subscription. You can buy it individually, and we have a limited number of them available. So if you really like this Christmas kit, you want to head on over to pinkandmaine.com or ask your local retailer and check it out. The first card we're going to make, I have cut some strips of paper from different pattern papers that are exclusive to the kit. So I wanted to add some different colors. So I cut out just various strips of the pattern paper. From the gold foil paper that's included in the kit, I cut a piece that's going to go on our card base with a 1/4-inch border using our layered rectangle dies. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down to the card base. I've cut another layer to go on top of the gold foil sheet, but this layer I've added one of our adhesive sheets to the front of this rectangle. It's going to give me a nice sticky surface to add these strips to, so I don't have to glue them down individually. And I thought it would look nice to add them on a diagonal. So I'll just start with one randomly in the center. So here I have our card layer. You can see the piece on the back. And all I have to do is trim this down to the size of the card base. So it's real easy to make a multicolored striped background. Now here is our layer for our card. I love that. It almost looks like a quilt. So we'll simply just glue this down. There's our card front so far. I love the look of that with that trim of gold showing around. It gives a little bit of shine. Now I've just taken a strip of white cardstock that'll fit across the striped paper in the background, and I've stamped the Merry Christmas. I love the font in this stamp set, and the stamp set is exclusive to the kit. It will not be sold outside of the kit. Next, I've colored the poinsettia from the stamp set, and I've added some foam adhesive to the back just to kind of pop it off the card a little bit. And I'm going to add it just to this side here of this white cardstock, like so. And here's our card so far. I think I'm going to add some of the white glitter enamel dots that are included in the kit, just to add a little spots of sparkle and shine. And there, I've just kind of added them around the poinsettia just to kind of highlight that, give little spots of sparkle and shine. And there is our first card. I've got the pieces ready for our next card. It's going to be another just real simple one to go together, but gives just a really pretty Christmas card. So in the kit, we give you 6 pre-cut and pre-scored card bases. I love that they come pre-scored because I personally don't like to score card bases. I always end up with crooked ones. That's just me. On our card front, we're going to use that gold foil cardstock again, and then we're going to layer this gingham pattern over the top of it. And we'll glue those down to the card base. The next piece we're going to add is I cut a stitched circle out of this olive green pattern paper, and I cut it in half. So it's just going to cover, kind of that 1/2 of the card, but it's going to give us a place to highlight our stamped image. So I'll glue that down. The image we're using for this card is this beautiful jar with the poinsettias at the top, and the jar says joy on it. And I've added foam adhesive to the back so it'll pop off the card a little bit. So we're going to add that there. And then I've stamped the Sentiment Seasons Greetings, and I just cut out that little flag end, and we're just going to glue that down at the bottom of our jar. So far, so good. I think I will add some more of this white glitter enamel dots again. They give just a subtle sparkle and shine to everything. And here's our second card. Isn't that pretty? For our next card, I've done something fun. First, I cut a scalloped rectangle with a teal cardstock. And then to go on top of it, I cut a piece of the gold foiled cardstock, but I ran it through my die cut machine with our polka dot embossing folder. So it gives this really beautiful, like gold polka dotted textured look to it. That's really fun. I'm going to glue these down to our card base. And here's the look at our card base so far. Isn't that fun with that polka dotted texture on that foiled cardstock? I love it. The next thing we're going to do is add a strip of this pattern paper from the paper pack. I just cut a little strip of these little snowflake looking pattern, and we're going to put it across the bottom. We're going to put this beautiful lantern with the poinsettia on the card. I've added foam adhesive to the back, so it'll kind of pop off the card a little bit. I think we'll put it over here to this side. And that strip of red just kind of anchors it to the card. It gives it a place to sit on. You don't want your stamped image just to be floating around. You want to anchor it to the card. So it's kind of sitting across the strip of paper. That's going to anchor it to the card. And then we've got our Merry and Bright sentiment. And I'm going to put it right down here on the bottom of the card in the center. I like it down there. And with the sparkle of that gold foil paper, I'm going to leave this card as is. I think it's just gorgeous the way it is. For our next card, I've cut another teal piece of cardstock that's going to fit exactly on our A2 size card front. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I've taken our plaid cover die panel. I believe this is panel A, and it has a nice, just bold crisscross plaid, and I thought it looked really pretty with this gold foiled cardstock that's in the kit. So I'm going to glue down this plaid panel over our teal cardstock and glue it to the card front. Here is our card base so far. Isn't it pretty with that gold foiled plaid? I love that. I've taken some red cardstock and I've cut out our zigzag circle die. And then I cut a little bit off the side there because I wanted it to kind of go off the edge of the card. That just adds interest to your eye when you do that. So we're going to glue that down to the side of the card. I've added some foam tape to the back of our image just to pop it off the card a little bit. And this time we're using the bells that have the poinsettia up at the top. And I've colored them in gold tones, so it goes really nicely with this gold plaid. We're just going to put that on our red circle. And then I've got the sentiment Season's Greetings, and we're going to put it just below our red cardstock. And here is the card. Oh, I love it. It's got just enough sparkle and shine with that gold foiled cardstock there and that plaid pattern. Lovely. For our next card, we're going to get a completely different look because now I'm going to use some of the silver foil that's in the kit along with some pink and lighter teal pattern papers that are in the paper pad. So I've colored my stocking to coordinate with those papers, and they still got the red poinsettia. So I've got a silver foil piece to put on the card base with a nice light teal plaid pattern to go over it. And we're going to glue those down to the card base first. Next, we're going to add this little strip of the pink pattern paper to the top of the card here. And I just have a strip of the silver to add at the bottom of that. So now we're going to add the stocking, but I wanted a place for my stocking to be highlighted and anchor it to the card. So I've cut an oval out with our layered oval dies, and I've used vellum paper. So it's translucent, but it'll give a nice place to highlight our stocking. So I'm going to glue the stocking to the vellum piece first, and then we'll glue the vellum to the card. You know, glue can show through vellum as well. So by gluing the stocking to the vellum first, I can now add glue to the back of the vellum and put it just where that stocking is so that the glue is hidden and it won't be seen. I've stamped the Merry Christmas sentiment, cut that little flag end out like I like to do, and we're going to glue that down to the bottom of the card. I'm going to add some of the gorgeous sequins that come in this kit. We're going to add that to the card just to give it a little more sparkle and shine. I'm going to use our reverse tweezers so I can easily pick up the sequins I want and place them on the card. And there is our finished card, nice and sparkly. For our next card, I did use the stencil that is in the kit. It's an exclusive stencil to the kit. It won't be available separately. And it's got some cool patterns that kind of match the paper pad a little bit. So what I've done is I've stenciled with red ink along the bottom of this white piece of cardstock, and then I stamped the Merry Christmas in the same red ink so it would match right above that. Now, I made a mistake over here. My stencil moved. I was going to just redo it and trash this, and I thought, no, I can make it work. I just have to do my card in a way that it'll cover that up. So whenever you make a little mistake like that, no big deal. You usually can cover it up somehow, and no one will be the wiser. So I've cut out the silver foil cardstock with a scallop rectangle die. And you'll notice there's a hole in the middle, and you go, what's that hole in the middle of the cardstock for? Well, I'm going to use a stitch circle on the front of the card out of that silver foil cardstock, and I thought, why not just cut it out of this piece that's going to be behind this other piece of cardstock, so you won't even know that there's a circle cut out of it. So it helps me not to waste some of the paper. So I'm going to glue this down to the card front. And then we'll glue down this piece right over the top of that. So as I said, I cut out with our stitch circle dies a circle from the silver foil. I cut a little bit of it off because I like my circles to kind of go off the edge of the card. And if we put it right over here on this side, you can see it's just going to cover up my little boo-boo with the stenciling. So here's our card so far. We have the stenciling across the bottom, the Merry Christmas. We have our circle over here. Next, we're going to add the stamped image of the candy cane with the poinsettia. And don't worry, you get the coordinating dies for this stamp set in the kit. So no fussy cutting, you get the dies to cut these out nicely. And there's our card so far. I love that. I love the candy cane image. It's one of my favorites in the stamp set. And I'm just going to add some of these white glitter enamel dots. And here's our finished card. A little bit of sparkle and shine, a little bit of stenciling. I love it. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these cards we've created with the Homespun Christmas card kit. You can check it out at pinkandmain.com or ask your local retailer. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.